Warning, this video contains spoilers for Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero.
Yo, check this out. Black guys drive a car like this. Ding ding. Doobity doobity ding ding. Doobity doobity.
Below Zero cuts itself off at its own knees when it comes to handling terror. It's like they're intent on spoiling some of its biggest surprises. I love Subnautica. It was the kind of game that might have fallen under my radar, but the Epic Game Store was giving it out for free. The Epic Game Store. It's always kind of been the Steam we have at home. Thanks for the free games, sucker. It took a few years for me to pick up Below Zero. I don't want to play a game in early access. Show me what you got when it's finished. I kind of forgot about it until early this year, when I kept seeing Below Zero videos pop up in my YouTube feed. Below average. What the hell went wrong with Subnautica Below Zero? Not as good as the first one, huh? Alright. Let's see what's going on with this shit. Below Zero has a lot in common with its predecessor. You've got a lot of the same tools, the same resources, the same upgrade paths, and the same survival needs. I jumped back into 4546B and I was having a blast. The world looks great. There are a lot of familiar creatures and a lot of new ones. I had sea monkeys stealing my shit. I was exploring underwater caves. All was good. The new Seatruck is sick. I thought it was just a Seamoth ripoff, but then I learned about the modules. There's a fabricator module so you can build things away from your base. There's a storage module so you can haul around all your junk. There's an aquarium module that'll catch fish for you as you drive around. There's a docking module that lets you take a prawn suit with you. And then there's a party module for when you need to let loose on the road. I made that last one up. The Seatruck is utilitarian. It's our home away from home. It's the blue-collar equivalent of the Seamoth.
Yo, check this out. Black guys drive a car like this. Ding ding. Doobity doobity ding ding. Doobity doobity. Yeah, but white guys, see, they drive a car like this.
The first time I heard of the Seatruck, I thought of the song Space Truckin' by Deep Purple. So I named my Seatruck Deep Purple. I was cruising around the planet with the song in my head the whole time. Before you say anything, yes, I am aware that I named a phallic-looking vehicle Deep Purple.
Colonel, you better take a look at this radar.
What is it, son?
I don't know, sir, but it looks like a giant...
Willie!
Which is what I named my Neptune rocket the last time I played. I know, I had the maturity of a 13-year-old. It's not changing at this point. The base building had some nice upgrades too. The Seatruck has its own docking module, which is pretty sick. The control room lets you change the color of your base. That's a win in my books. There are lots of new items and decorations. There are plenty of posters to slap up in a pinch. They'll even stay in place if you delete the room they were attached to.
I wouldn't take it down if I were you. It's a load-bearing poster.
You've also got a bunch of different beds, a shower, a sink, and a toilet. Well, I guess you won't have to poop in the ocean like a degenerate anymore. Not everything was all good though. What's this? Are you saying words? I mean, I guess that's fine. I don't care too much if the protagonist is void.
Down the drop pod. All right, I have a scanner. Should be able to use this. Great. Now back to the terminal. Some of the wildlife down here is very grabby. Well, Sam, I guess I might as well gather some tools and research. Right? This is the place
Could there be
both living on this planet? Did not go as planned.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Can you just let me build my base in peace? It's not like they're going to install a yappy alien inside my brain anytime soon, right? Wait, what's this? Oh no.
Excuse me. My body is anything but inferior. Warning you, I work hard. You call me man in the future one more time. I will smash both into the mouth of the fire.
It's too much. I don't get the point of these lengthy discussions. I get they're trying to provoke a contrast between the two species. Sometimes they scratch the surface of a deeper topic, like how a part of our shared history is lost when someone passes away, but the whole thing feels a bit shallow.
I agree as well. Shallow and pedantic.
Why does Ellen have to call me every 5 minutes like a clingy ex? Oh, hang on a second. They shrunk the world a bit in Below Zero. Seeing as the game was originally slated to be a DLC, it makes sense, but sometimes bigger is better. You won't see any of those vast open areas such as the Lost River and Below Zero. You'll also swim like molasses. If you play the two games back to back, it'll become very apparent. I like the Seatruck, but it's pretty slow without any upgrades.
Put it in H!
And it's not just the size that's a pain, it's the claustrophobic nature of the design. There are narrow tunnels everywhere. Even if your Seatruck doesn't have any modules attached, it can still be hard to navigate. Every once in a while, it feels like I'm trapped in an Austin Powers sketch. Not only are the tunnels tight, but they're also confusing. There are often multiple paths that branch out and loop back on themselves. If you get out of your vehicle, you should make sure you know the way back. I had a few mishaps on my first playthrough. A lot of the major plot points take place on land, so pack your snowsuit, pack your coffee, cause your ass is gonna freeze. The game does a good job of conveying the oppressive nature of the climate. Your screen frosts over at the edges, you can see Robin's breath, she'll rub her hands together as her body heat runs low. There are a lot of beautiful sections. Nice ice caves, nice leafy trees. The problem is, these areas are huge and confusing as fuck. There are landmarks to help guide you in. You've got Altera light sticks and ladders, and artifact lights throughout the area. Getting out is another issue. Those landmarks won't help you escape the area. I wound up going in circles, and I was not the only one.
Are we above where we were before? We're above now? How could this area be so goddamn confusing?
But the worst offense to me is that the game flat out spoils some of the potential terror for you. In Subnautica, you aren't warned about the potential dangers in the ocean. The first few minutes of the game, you'll get assaulted by a kamikaze fish when you try to plug quartz from one of the nearby tunnels. You'll get teleported out of your prawn suit without warning by the deadly warpers. You'll have the crab squids unexpectedly cut power to your vehicles with their EMP blasts. Take that, bitch. And again. The first encounter you have with the Reaper Leviathan is sure to leave an impression on you. Maybe it'll leave an impression on your underwear too. So when you go to approach the Arctic spires where the dangerous on-land creatures roam, surely there's a lot of potential to build some terror for the player, right? Imagine this. You enter the Arctic spires and something seems a little off. Almost as if the ground is unstable below you. As you progress through the area, a faint rumbling can be heard. Maybe it's the ice shifting underground. You travel from Altera site to Altera site. Everything seems fine, but the rumbling never ceases. You follow the artifact lighting and get closer and closer to the parts you need for Alan to become whole again. The rumbling gets louder and louder as you proceed. You approach an open area. You see the deadly snow stalkers and decide to avoid them. On your way through the detour, suddenly the rumbling becomes deafening. Something knocks you off your snow fox, and as you lie in the snow on your back, the ice worm emerges. You look up in awe as a towering colossal beast leaps over you, crashing down and back below ground. What the hell was that? That beast looks deadly. I better get the hell out of here, you think to yourself. That's what the experience could have been like. Instead, we have this.
I'm sensing interesting patterns to the northeast. It would be worth investigating. But be careful.
Of what?
I recall ravenous creatures tunneling beneath the ice.
Alan, shut the fuck up. Below Zero cuts itself off at its own knees when it comes to handling terror. It's like they're intent on spoiling some of its biggest surprises. Gotta keep the game accessible, I guess. There are plenty of snow stalkers to block your way. They're hyper-aggressive and can give you a pretty good bite. On the bright side, they can make your snow fox do a barrel roll.
Do a barrel roll!
Actually, I take it back. The worst part about the on-land sections aren't the spoilers. There's a new vehicle that your PDA says will make you look cool. Well, guess what? The Snow Fox handles like a shopping cart and is the most fragile vehicle in the game. And if you don't click on the perfect spot, you'll either pack it up or access the upgrade menu instead of boarding it. The ice worms will keep knocking you off of it, even if they're well out of range. It's super annoying. But the worst part is that this can happen. Yeah, I can still see the beacon, but it's way the hell in the ground somewhere. I learned my lesson though. Next time I went back on land, I made 2 snow foxes, so my ass was covered. I made sure I named one of them how I really felt about this vehicle. So I don't get why the prawn suit is in this game. The Seatruck is faster, has more storage, and can go as deep as you need. I guess he can mine resources. I didn't need to do that at all in my first playthrough. I guess on the plus side, you can hold out your drill while the monsters swim into it.
If you get hit, it's your own fault.
The ending to this game made me say what the fuck out loud. I got in my spaceship with the alien centaur man and I forgot all about finding Robin's sister. I didn't know what happened to her or her research into the coronavirus, and Robin didn't really seem to give a shit. It seems like the whole reason she came to the planet was just completely pushed aside. No, I didn't find the optional cave area that would have explained all that. I just wanted to get the hell out of the confusing ice place. If you do find the excavation site, you're not going to get a satisfying answer as to Sam's fate. As it turns out, her death was her own negligence. Here's another question. Why was the antidote so easily produced by someone with a little bit of a biochem background? An advanced alien race failed in their quest to cure the virus. Apparently, all they had to do was wait 2 years and they could have just grown some fevered peppers and a fucking frost vase. Meanwhile, Marguerite is still in her home, poking away at her tablet with not a shred of curiosity about anything.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently.
The story is incoherent and unfinished. It's cool that they wanted to try something new, but that's part of the issue. When you start off with such a strong game in the series, the next one has to bear the comparisons that will inevitably be drawn. Below Zero isn't inherently a bad game, it just isn't as good as the first, and I don't think there's any dispute about that at this point. Should you play Below Zero? If you like Subnautica, then yes, absolutely. It's more Subnautica. The world is pretty. There are some good quality of life improvements and new base pieces. There are some cool new plants and creatures to encounter. The world is small, the on-land sections aren't the best, and the story has a ton of holes, but you should play it and decide for yourself. That's all I have to say about it really.